Hey guys, thanks for being on our hangout tonight. I'm Brent.
I'm Julie.
We're the Frenches. We're Emerald Ambassadors with Plexus Worldwide, and we are coming to you live from Pensacola, Florida.
Cold
We're
Pensacola,
cold
Florida.
Pensacola. Oh, please. It has absolutely been beautiful here. And so what do you think about the weather right now, Linda? Do you like this kind of weather?
Well, I like it. My mom says it's freezing too.
Oh, please. Tell her to
Keith
go buy
says
a jacket.
Keith says it's perfect.
I love that being able to walk outside and you can breathe and there's no humidity and there's
Mhm.
just a nice. We went to a football game on Friday
Right.
night, and that is football weather right there where it's just wonderful. Well, enough about Pensacola. We are so excited to have our special guest tonight. This is Elizabeth James. Elizabeth is a Diamond Ambassador and she is from Arkansas. So I had the opportunity to meet Elizabeth in Phoenix as we were doing convention prep. We were just talking about this before coming on tonight, but I had the privilege of serving on the team with her and Tamara and Lori, and it just really was a lot of fun. These guys were fabulous. They were fabulous, and she and Tamara spoke at a couple different events. I think actually, Elizabeth, you had to record something else later because a recording got messed up. Is that correct?
Yeah, yeah. They were wanting to record all the breakout sessions so that they could be in the back office for training. But somehow that first session that Tamara and I did, they forgot to hit the audio record. So
Oh,
they have a video of it, but there's no audio.
oh,
So
wow. Is that the
we
one
just
where you did the equip and engage?
Yes,
And that's
it
great.
was awesome.
Oh, so yeah, so we went back. We actually went into a radio studio one day. Tamara drove down from Fayetteville, and we just re-recorded it just so it was audio. But yeah, that was kind of an experience too.
That's great. And we were also talking about this before. What's really exciting is these ladies just got information from some people that were senior gold ambassadors at convention. So that's 4 months ago. 4 months ago, and then last month they turned emerald. And they said that they had taken those notes that you guys had done and they really put it into practice, and it propelled their business. So that's fabulous. And I know you guys work like crazy on that. You're a teacher, right?
No, I'm not a teacher. I do work at a school, but
Okay,
I do fundraising for school. I'm marketing communications.
okay, okay.
Yes,
Because you
I
had
have
to
to give
have,
my children to someone else to teach.
what I remember, you had to have everything though lined out. You were wanting to make sure you guys were lined out for your speech.
Yeah, well, yes, I do like to be organized. I will tell you that. I like to know what's happening, what's coming up.
Well, we are honored that you have given us your time tonight to share with our team. So why don't you give us a little bit of background of you and your journey with Plexus, if you don't mind?
Yeah. Well, I started with Plexus in April of 2013, just as a customer of Suzanne Clinton. We were just kind of like wanting to lose a few pounds and had heard about this Plexus thing. And anyway, I honestly just kind of thought it was going to be one of those, just a little fad diet I'd tried and that'd be fun. And who knew it was going to open up this whole new world for me? Really, within probably like 2 or 3 weeks of being on the product, I had already, you know, my mother was taking it, my sister was taking it, and I was telling other friends about it. And so, being economical, same kind of thing. I did the math. I said, well, if I share this with 3 people, I've got my products paid for. And I hadn't told my husband that I was taking them. And so I was like, I got to get these paid for because I knew I mean, I felt so good. And so I was like, it became really quickly not about weight loss, about feeling good. And so I was like, I want to keep taking these products. So I thought, well, I'm just going to switcheroo and be an ambassador. And honestly, my goal was to pay for my products and to maybe make enough money, after doing it for a year to get some dining room furniture. Those were my like lofty goals with Plexus. And it was as soon as I started sharing it on Facebook, I had people interested in talking about it and the huge success, and it kind of just steamrolled from there. Again, I had never done anything in multi-level marketing, I didn't understand that whole. I just kind of, in my mind, I thought I'm just going to get a great big customer base and do that. But again, like I said, Suzanne and I started as ambassadors about the same time, and after probably 2 or 3 months, her paycheck was like triple what mine was, and we both had really great PV. But I was like, now wait a second. But she had the mindset of, I'm going to be signing up ambassadors, and so I, at that point, probably about 2 or 3 months into it, I thought I need to look at this comp plan and see what this means, and I kind of had that mindset of going, okay, I'm going to build a team and see how this goes. So. It took me about, I think it's like 14 months to go Emerald from when I started, and then another 8 months to go Diamond from there. So,
well, let me ask you an important question. Did you get the dining room set?
It's so funny because no, we actually moved into. I know, we moved into a new house because of Plexus, and I sold my dining room set, and for a long time my dining room was empty, and that's where my daughter did her gymnastics, because I knew I didn't want that dining room set, so we sold it. But now I'm saving my money for a new kitchen, so I don't want to buy a dining room set, so it's our gymnastics area still.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, you know, when you're a diamond and you're wise with your money, you can do certain things like you're saying right there, and that's awesome.
Yeah.
So you're just totally blessed with Plexus, is what you're saying.
Oh my goodness, it has been really beyond my wildest dreams. And the other, I guess we've had recently 2 diamond panels. There's 6 diamonds, I believe, in Arkansas. And one of the questions they asked us was, what has been your biggest, like, oh my goodness, I'm so thankful for this moment through Plexus. And I was telling everybody actually last weekend that for the Emerald Extravaganza, we were able to take my kids, they're 8 and 9 years old, but then also my parents-in-law, who never in a million years would have been able to fly to Maui. I mean, she was a middle school librarian, and my father-in-law was a high school football coach. So that wouldn't have been something they could ever have done. And we were able to do that with Plexus. So, I mean, my kids had this amazing experience with their grandparents. They were able to go. It was just, I mean, every time I think about that, I'm like, that was just truly unbelievable. And yeah, just to do something like that, I'm an experienced person, so I never had that, like, car, like, I kind of liked my Highlander. I mean, I like the Lexus too, but I was fine with that. I like to go do stuff, and so the ability to go and have those experiences with my kids, and then also with now my in-laws, has just been amazing. So yes, very blessed.
That's great. I love it with the diamond panels. Tarl has been coming in for those, hasn't he?
Right. He came, we did one in Little Rock last month, and he came in for that. He had some good questions.
That's great. You know, yeah. For people that haven't been able to see him or to experience these guys, our executives, just to sit down with them and talk, they're just real people, aren't they? That care about their ambassadors.
Yeah. They really do. I mean, I feel better about the company every time I'm able to spend any kind of time with the executives. I mean, even like we were talking about Marianne before we went live. I mean, Marianne, Tarl, Alec, just their sincere desire to really want to serve us and to make things good for us, for our business now and for the long term. It always makes me feel better about what we're doing, and really makes me want to invest more time and effort into this business, because I realize, like, we're going to be around. If we're putting this time now, it's going to be here for the long haul, just because I do have so much faith and confidence in them.
I can remember our first leaders retreat, and it was a cruise. And
I
don't think they'll do that again, because a lot of people got sick.
Yes.
But I remember walking in to sign in, and, you know, I'd been around Alec Clark, you know, just times, and when he saw me, he called me by name, and I was just totally blown away that they, and I know it's a little more difficult now because we're a larger company and there's a lot more names to memorize, but just for them to make a personal connection to their ambassadors is awesome.
Right. Yeah. It's special. It is.
Can't be beat. Well, I know we were talking earlier, and you have been doing a lot of research, asking different people. You're watching teams that are growing, and you're trying to get special tips that they are using to help with with their teams. And you said that you've come up with 6 steps to success for your team. Would you mind sharing some of those with us tonight and our team
Sure.
and what they can do? We'd love to hear
Yeah.
that.
Well, it's interesting. Like I told you earlier, I launched this with my team today. I've been asking a lot of, just kind of asking around, just seeing what are the best practices by some of the fastest growing people right now. What are they doing? What are they teaching to their team and trying to get them to duplicate? And a lot of times I feel like we make this business harder than it is, and sometimes we need to just kind of go back to the basics of going, we are relationship marketing, and we're about getting out there and sharing with other people our products and the business opportunity. And I think a lot of times, there are a lot of places for these new 7-day challenges or 21-day challenges or, all these different groups. I think there's a lot of great things like that, but just that getting back to the basics. So that's kind of what my team is focusing on right now, really probably through 2015. So, and I'm just going to hound it into them, like going, okay, if you can be consistent with these best practices, I'm not going to guarantee you're going to be diamond in a year, but I 100% believe if you can be consistent with doing these, like I say, these 6 steps, that at some point you would be a diamond investor. I think timeline's going to vary based on, what's your reach and what's your demographic that you're with, and, how active can you be. You may have a full-time job somewhere else, and so I think timelines vary, but I think the basics don't vary from one to another. So I'll tell you, I'm getting out my 6 steps, and I can send you my graphic I made too. But okay, so my 6 steps, and then I'm going to kind of go into one particular step that is near and dear to me because it's how I've grown my team. But so the first step is posting daily, 1 to 3 posts per day, with about a third about Plexus. This is hard. I wasn't a super active Facebook person before I started with Plexus, and so for me, I can't go all of a sudden to go, I joined Plexus and I'm posting 3 times a day. That would overwhelm my audience. But I do think you can post, everybody can post 1 time a day about something, with every third post being about Plexus. So, we can talk about the great fall weather, like you said. Oh, it's cool here. What's it like where you are? That's 1. And then a cute picture of, my kids cheering the Hogs on at a watch party the other night. That can be 2. And then my 3rd post, okay, now it's time I've built up my audience, and now I can do a Plexus post, and I may do something about gut health and how our probio can help with that. So posting daily and just being out there, I think, is huge. Along with that is just scrolling through your team page, because there's a lot of value in there. And if you're gold and above, I tell people they need to be posting on their team page daily. Okay, number 2 is following up with customers and potential ambassadors daily, and reaching out to 10 to 15 ambassador prospects per month. And that's the one I'm going to circle back around to, the ambassador prospects. Number 3 is having written goals, daily, monthly, yearly, with specific actions to achieve them. I don't think, if you don't know where you want to go in the business, you're not going to know what you want to do with yourself every day. If you don't know, hey, I'm really wanting to make $500 to help so I can cut back on one of my nursing shifts a month. So how do I make $500? You have to know what you need to do to get there. How many customers does that mean? How many ambassadors does that mean? And so you need to have a daily to do of what you need to do, and also kind of go out, like I said, yearly, monthly, or monthly, yearly. Okay, number 4 is commit to personal and professional development. That includes training calls, YouTube videos, those professional development type books, the Rock Your Network Marketing Business. There's so much stuff out there, and you need to be committed to improving yourself.
Let me ask you a question there.
Yeah.
What is the favorite thing that you're reading or that you're studying right now? Or what is your number 1 book? You know what I'm saying?
My number 1, like, network marketing book?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Anything that would help you professionally?
Professionally? I really do like the Rock Your Network Marketing. I mentioned that one just because it's with Sarah Robbins. And I mixed in, like, I just finished reading the new For the Love, the book my brain just went, the girl in Austin. I think mixing it up with some of those things that help you balance your life. What is her name? Why can I not think of it?
What is the book called?
For the Love. But it's for women. But it's a, you know what I'm talking, what is her name? Why can't I think of it? She's like the cutest thing. She's in Austin. She's a Christian motivational speaker. She had the house renovation. Anyway, it's going to come to me in a minute. Anyway, that's the one I just finished reading. But I think mixing.
Women, forget it.
Yeah, it's for women. I'll remember it in just a second. Oh, it's so good. Okay.
Jen Hatmaker.
Jen Hatmaker, thank you. Yes, I love her. She's so funny. She just has good perspective, because I think mixing some of those, like, I mean, doing the professional development is great, like with the Sarah Robbins and that type of thing. But then I think, you know, making sure that you're staying balanced, and that's why I was on the Jen Hatmaker one, because I can kind of start to roll too far to go, okay, I'm going to accomplish this, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to get to this goal. And I forget, like, oh yeah, I have an 8 and 9-year-old, and I have a husband, and let's get a bigger picture. Let's step back. You know, why am I doing this? Why am I wanting to achieve this? What can we do with that money, the extra money that we make, or how can I help my team? So, I mean, that's why I think mixing in the personal development as well, you know, with your spiritual life and all that, keeping that balance. So you need to do both. But I do like the Sarah Robbins one. I think that one's really good. And there's also one, and I'll have to send it to you too. I can't remember the name right off about the 4 colors.
Okay.
You know, identifying, and I forget what that off. I love that too, because you can use that in everyday life, just in interacting with people.
Yeah, but I see a lot of people talking about that.
I have it. I was going to see if I had it right here, but I don't know if I do. But I'll send that to you after we're finished too. But okay, so my number 5 is fuel your plexus passion, and that is, to do that, I think you have to be passionate about this business and passionate about the products for people to be attracted to it. So you need to take your products daily. You need to be a product of the product. You need to know your plexus why. When you're struggling and having some hard times, like maybe you have a customer that struggled, and maybe you've had several customers that struggled in a row, and that gets you down. Like, I mean, I want all my people to be successful, and you start to go, oh my gosh, these products not work, what's the deal? That's when I tell people, listen to the health testimonials, listen to the financial testimonials, because you're going to go, oh my gosh, I'm a believer. You know, you just hear, I love going when we have opportunity meetings and we have those health testimonials come up. It's just like, oh my goodness, like, why would I not be like wearing a t-shirt every day that says, ask me about plexus, it could totally change your life? Because you hear, you know, migraine sufferers and fibromyalgia stuff. It's unbelievable. So I think we get lost sometimes in the minutia of like, oh, I felt a little bloated on this and da-da-da, and you start going, oh my gosh, the boost, I can't have, you know. And so I just think if you can keep that fuel, that plexus passion going, and sometimes you have to go back and just go, I'm going to listen to my favorite health testimonial, and that'll help me get through that. And then the other part of that one is just attending events. I think that's a huge deal, of seeing like we're a part of this big group, whether it's Super Saturday that's coming up or leadership convention. And then my number 6 is training your new ambassadors. You've got to train them well. We have a new ambassador checklist that everybody needs to go through, but I mean, you want people to be duplicating. So when you've got those new ambassadors, you want to get them when they're excited about it and get their momentum and all that going. So like when my teams come to me and says, hey, I feel like my business is kind of stagnating, and there's what's going on, and I go, okay, well, have you done the 6 steps? Let's review it. And usually, if we can go through have you followed up with customers? Do you have your goals written? Are you still passionate? And we can find a spot in one of those 6 things where they may be like, yeah, I haven't really shared that much lately, or I haven't been willing to reach out to new people. And so, I mean, I think that's, for me right now, that's what I would say. Like, if we could focus on those things and kind of go, what am I doing? What can I look through those 6 things, and what can I do with my day to fill in one of these gaps? So, anyway, I maybe kind of, I get all excited and then I don't know what I'm saying, because I'm like, and then this, and do this. But what I did say, one of my favorite parts that I like to talk about is reaching out to prospects. A part of my plexus story is the fact of, like I mentioned at the beginning, I started at the same time Suzanne Clinton started and Melissa Darby started. They had both previously done multi-level marketing groups or multi-level marketing companies. So they kind of had this like a little bit more of a savvy, and I didn't I didn't really understand the whole thing, and I felt like I got a little bit behind. So Little Rock is kind of a small town, like everybody's sort of related, or you went to school, or da da da. So anyway, all of a sudden I have Melissa, who's from Dallas, and Suzanne, who's from, well, I guess she's kind of from Dallas too. These Texas girls come in, and they're getting all my Arkansas girls, like just my natural connections, like so and so I went to high school with, and that means they got this person. So all of a sudden I found myself in my warm market had already been taken over by these two Texas girls. So I had to kind of pull myself. I had to kind of say, all right, what do I have to do? It's not naturally, me posting is not going to naturally get these ambassadors. So I started saying, I'm going to have to go and get those people myself. So I made my list of who I wanted on my team, and I just systematically started reaching out to them. I'm too chicken to call them. I'll be honest there. I sent either a Facebook message or an email. And these weren't like, I think the definition of cold contacting is somebody you don't even know. So I say these are my cold emails to my warm market. They were people I knew or had some kind of relationship with, but they didn't necessarily, they'd never asked me about Plexus. Rebecca Davis is probably my greatest grab from a cold email, because I mean, she's 10 years younger than me. I more know her family, and more honestly, her parents and I were in a community group together. And so but I knew her, and I knew she got a bazillion posts or bazillion comments every time she posted on something. And I knew she had done Arbonne before, so I thought, I'm just going to kind of reach out to her and say, hey, I've got this business. I think you would be great. I complimented her. I said, this is why I think you would be awesome at this, because you have this quality and this quality, and I know you know how to do this business, and you have all these connections, et cetera, et cetera. Can I send you a sample and have you try it? And it just happened, she was living in Pennsylvania at the time, but it happened that she was coming in town to Little Rock, and so I gave her a 3-day sample, and I said, let's get back together after 3 days. And anyway, she joined my team, and I guess almost, well, she's my first diamond, and she's my only leg that I have jewels on. And then I have another leg that has, well, we've got senior rubies, but then my other senior ruby leg is somebody also that I sent a cold email to, that I just said she had done a multi-level marketing company before. She was an aerobics instructor. I knew they had seminary debt, and so, I thought, well, she's a great person to want. That would be great. People loved her. They trusted her. She was fun. So I just said, let's try this. And we'll probably go senior ruby next month. She's ruby now. So like my 2 of my 4 strongest legs were from cold contacting my warm market.
So
yeah.
I know that you had to send out a lot of contacts like that. But when you get a no, I think some people have the tendency when they get a no, they just close down. Nobody likes, or nobody wants to do this.
Yes, it's hard.
How do you overcome that objection?
I will say, I mean, yes, I've got those 2 great girls from all my emails, but I probably sent 100 emails like that. And I have to admit, I have my 20-year reunion next weekend, and I'm a little nervous to show up because I've cold emailed a lot of people from my class that never replied to me. I'm like, oh gosh, I hope so-and-so doesn't show up.
Drive up in your Plexus Lexus, and you have your Tiffany bracelet on from
That's true.
And they ask you, they're like, why didn't I get on her team before now?
Maybe this will be a way for me to get it. I mean, yes, I have emailed a lot of people, and especially when you Facebook them and they've seen it and they don't reply, and it's hard. Like, it's kind of like a little dagger. And if it's somebody you see in passing too, it's one of those things that's awkward. Now, I will say so yes, it hurts, and honestly, it still hurts. I have to kind of like take a little bit of time to get over it, but I do have to remember I'm offering them something awesome. I'm not like presenting something that's only going to benefit me. You know what I mean? It's different if you're saying, hey, can you come buy, I don't know, XYZ from me, and there's no benefit.
I think the point is you reached out not knowing what kind of answer you're going to get, but look what it's done for you.
Oh, it's unbelievable. I mean, literally, like I said, without Rebecca Davis's line, I would not be a diamond ambassador. So she's a significant number of my points, and it's just been for honestly both of those girls, Corey Crowley and Rebecca, it has been the sweetest friendship as well too that we've developed through it. So I mean, I think reach out to people who you really would like to do business with and do life with, and they can become your power partners. And that's been so much fun.
Our team,
think about
Rebecca, because we had her just a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
And she's great. She's great. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, no, I mean, I'm just saying, I do think you have to, when you do get the no's or the people ignoring you and stuff, you just have to realize, like, it really is, that's kind of their loss. And it may not be for them. So Plexus isn't for everybody. But the fact that if we can present that opportunity, I mean, I think that could be a gift to them, and so you just kind of have to keep it in perspective. And really, I think a lot of times the way that you phrase what you're saying, like, hey, let me know, I'm going to send you this, and if I don't hear back from you in a couple of days, I'll touch base with you again. Like, I think always the way, if you're sending an email, if you can allow yourself, go ahead and say, hey, I'm going to be touching base with you again, like just kind of letting them know so you don't feel like you're pushy. Because a lot of times if you're like, just kind of put it out there, hey, if you're interested, let me know, and you don't hear back from them, you don't have an open door to kind of approach again. So Be sure that when you write an email or write a Facebook message, I mean, if you can call them and you have guts to do that. I don't have the guts to do that yet. I'm a writer. I'm an English major. I prefer just to write and, that kind of thing. And so, but, I mean, I think if you can leave the door open and just say, hey, I'll give you some time to think through this email, and I'll, ask you on Friday if you have any questions, and maybe we could talk further, or if you want to get together. So that way you can kind of do one more touch.
Right.
And at that touch, you can go, if this isn't for you, I totally get it. I just wanted to share it with you because I would love to do this with you. So you can end it to where it's, and I think I've gotten better at this. Like I said, some of my 20-year reunion girls, I'm a little bit like, oops, I probably didn't do that the greatest way. That was probably about 18 months ago when I wasn't as skilled in my cold emails. But yeah, you can do it to where you're like, you know what? I mean, if this isn't for you, awesome. I just wanted to let you know because it's been amazing for me. And then let them decide. So you're going to get mainly no's, but I mean, one good yes could change your life. So it's worth it.
That's all it.
Doing that every month
is one that could radically change your life.
Yeah.
I think we have a couple questions. Lyndon, do you see any? I see somebody asked, what is your first introduction tool that you send someone? Would it be a video? Is it an email? Do you have a certain thing that you like to send for your first touch?
Usually my first touch is not a video. It's more like me telling them what I see in them that I believe would make them good at this business. So I'm not like flooding them with tons of information about Plexus, but I just kind of say, I've been involved in this network marketing business and I've seen the type of person that's really successful in this business, and here's what I've seen in you that I feel like would make you successful in this. And so, so it's more like flattering them, and I mean, it's personal to go, oh gosh, I see you have this huge sphere of influence. You're really, really well respected. I know you're a hard worker. Whatever it is, like just being personal. Here's what I've seen, and if it's somebody that I only know through Facebook or, just say, gosh, I mean, whatever you can say to compliment them. So it's more kind of about them. Like, this is what I see in you that I feel like you could be successful in our business. And then I typically tell them a little bit about how Plexus has been good for me and what I've seen in the benefits. And I mean, I talk about like just how much fun it's been. And I don't want to set up this expectation sometimes when you go, and I've gone to Maui and I have a Lexus, people go, well, you can't do that. Just say, hey, I could show you how to make a little extra money if you're interested, or if you want to go all the way, I'd love to help you with that. And I really let them know, too, we would be doing this together, and I would love to do it with you, that type of thing. So It's really more about them the first time. That's
good. That's good. Lyndon, did you see anything?
No, I don't have anything on the other page.
There's another one that someone had asked, and it's probably not what you would know. You may be in the know. We need a new product video. I'm sure Plexus is working on that. Have you heard anything through the grapevine maybe about that, or
like the adds the Mega X in there?
Yeah, new one that we have the old one, but we don't.
Yeah.
We have products now? You haven't
I
heard.
will say a lot of the stuff that I send to people is either I really like the Plexus U stuff that the Abarts do,
Yes.
and there's one that they've done about the opportunity recently, and it has Brenda Martin and Lori Welch on it, and I like that one. And so if people ask about that, I'll show them that. And then if I've got more of like kind of the crunchy persons that's interested in the products, like, I have some people that I feel like, okay, this is just a business opportunity thing, and so I may show them that cute, like real, oh, look how fun this would be. And then but if they're kind of more, I need to know about the products and is there integrity in the products, I really like Ame Darling's product videos. They're just unbelievable. So I usually will send them the triplex one that she's done just to say, hey, here's just our basic kind of best-selling product. We have so many others, but here's just a description from a master nutritionist of why it's so good.
Wow, that's great.
Mm-hmm.
That's great. Julie, you have anything else?
No, I think you've covered it.
And
And I love how candid you are. You're so candid. And I love that because you're a Diamond Ambassador, and yet you're still nervous to make these calls or cold emails, and it just shows you that you can do it, where
yes.
you've gotten there. So.
Well, and that's the thing. I mean, I think that it's been, I really have loved seeing, I mean, in the past, I guess it's been 2.5 years, just the different people that I've encountered with Plexus, and there is definitely not a one type fits all for this business. There are so many different strengths that I've seen, the real introverted, quiet people grow these humongous teams because they're just so knowledgeable and they're so passionate and people follow them. And then you have the people who may not know a lick about the products. I mean, they personally love them, but just their passion with, I love it. Let people go, okay, whatever you say, illegal amphetamine, okay, I'll do what you. I mean, it really has been so fun. I mean, really, like, it's just been fun to watch that you're going to attract. And that's the other great thing, too, I think, about Plexus is the fact that because it's growing in notoriety, I think, just because when people say, oh, our market's saturated, and we have a lot of that in Arkansas now, I go, yeah, but you're not the person selling it, and you may be what is attracting that person to Plexus because they see you. And so they may not be attracted to what I'm selling. They're attracted to what you're selling because of who you are. And so, I mean, really anybody can do this business. They really, really can. I do think it takes being consistent and putting effort and time into it, but it's just, there's so much you get back from it. It can be just so fun too. So it has been. I'm definitely the same old person, and I don't like being on video. That's my problem.
You and me both.
Yeah. But we did it tonight. We got our 30 minutes in.
Well, I appreciate your 6 steps to success, and I know you said you're going to send us an image of that.
I'll send you the graphic.
You doing that, and we thank you for your time tonight. We had just this week, on October 1st, everybody had withdrawals because our back office was being switched to a new system, and finally came online late that night on the 1st, and people were emailing corporate. There's little bugs that they're getting worked out. So my word to you, team, is just be patient. Just be patient. They are working through a lot of steps. We just got an email before we came on tonight from Plexus talking about how they've been working all weekend on little fixes that need to be made, and they have our best interest in mind. So guys, remember, they have our best interest in mind, and they are working on all of these things. So it may take a few weeks for it to roll out. I know Linda Lynn had the opportunity to be on the pilot team, so she's had a lot of information, that she's seen for a few months now. So on the 18th, 2 weeks from tonight, Linda Lynn is going to be doing a training on our Hangout that night on the back office. So make sure that if you want to learn, team, if you want to learn more about the back office, make sure that you're on that call that night because she will go into detail. Isn't that right, Linda Lynn?
Yes, I hope.
I'll be on that.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I hope it is up and running and everything's good by then, and I can explain it at that point.
So, there's a lot of people that have a lot of different questions, and, corporate, hey, I can't imagine what they're going through right now. When we had remember the first back office we had?
Yes.
Really remember that?
Barely.
And then everybody had heart failure when we moved at that point to a new back office. And, it has served us well up until this time. And I think this new back office is going to be fabulous with everything that we're going to be able to do with messaging, voice messaging, your 800 numbers, your videos that you can send out, your emails that you can send out. It's just going to be phenomenal. Just may take a little time to get there, so just be patient. Just be patient. Elizabeth, thank you so much for your time.
Thanks for having me. Yes, I appreciate it.
It's a blessing to have an Arkansas Razorback and an LA Tiger on the screen at the same time,
Right.
Our teams meet in November, so, that night we'll probably have to message each other and say,
I have a feeling you might be able to gloat, but you never know.
You never know.
Yeah.
Hey, Ole Miss thought that they were going to beat Gators yesterday after they beat Alabama. And they got.
That's true. The SEC.
Right. That's right. Lindalyn, you have anything else?
No, I'm good. Next week, who do we have next week? We have somebody great next week too, don't we?
Amber Lee. That's her. That's
Live
Livesay. I don't even know how to say her last name. It's Amber. It's we've had Jana Hooten on. Jana's a Sapphire. This is her sister Amber, who been friends with them for her dad. Actually, her dad for years. When Julie graduated from Bible college, their dad preached her graduation. So that's been years ago. So I won't say how many years ago.
Yeah.
So, well, let's pray, guys, and then we're going to call it a night. Father, thank you for Elizabeth and for her time with us tonight. Lord, thank you for these steps to success that she's given us for our team. Lord, I pray that our team would take these, write them down, and Lord, apply these principles into their business. Lord, I pray that when they do that, they will see our businesses grow. Lord, I pray that you just continue to bless our company. Lord, I know that they have so much going on right now with this transition into our back office. Lord, and I know they've got to be physically exhausted and tired. I pray that you just give them the rest that they need. And Lord, as they work through these different issues that come up, I pray that you give them wisdom on exactly how to handle those things. Lord, bless our leaders, our executives, and Lord, our ambassadors. I pray that you just help us to continue to share the good news about Plexus and how it can help, Lord, how it can actually radically transform their lives with when it comes to health and when it comes to their financial well-being. Lord, help us to have a great week. Thank you again for Elizabeth being with us. In Jesus' name, amen. Guys, thank you so much for being on the Hangout tonight. Elizabeth, you rock.
Thanks for having me.
Julie, good night.
Good night.
Good night.